What is up, guys? Cruise Designs here, and this is part 4 in my intro tutorial series. If you haven't watched the other parts, obviously I strongly suggest you go and watch them. This is basically what we've made, and I'll just play the animation. For those of you who have watched them, I have changed it. I've changed the spinning bit slightly just to make it look better. But this is what we've got. Okay. So, that's pretty much it. We've got all the materials. We just render it. Looking pretty nice. In fact, I'm just going to try turning off the specular. No, I'll leave it on. I think I'll tone it down a bit. Okay. Nope, I'll leave it how it was. Okay, so in this episode, we're going to be putting the text flying in. So for me, I'm going to have Cruise Designs, and it's going to fly in. So, oh yeah, also I am using Cinema 4D R12 now, release 12. I'm not going to be using anything in R12 that's not in 11.5 or 11, so you can still do everything. It's all good. So, let's grab some text. So you want to go to MoGraph, MoText, and start with, I'm just going to come out of the camera, and I'm going to line it up before I write anything. Just a minute. Okay, I'll stop the recording and I'll come back when I've lined it up well. Okay, I've got the text centered. So now we're obviously going to change it. I'm gonna write Cruise Designs, and I'm going to use the same font as the KD, which is can't remember what it's called. There it is, Haunting Attraction. So put that in, and that's in bold. I'm going to tone that down to regular. There we go. And then drag it so it lines up. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to put it down. And you can always adjust the camera later if not everything kind of lines up that well. Yeah, that looks fine for now. And then obviously do all your cap thing, fillet cap. Gonna put that down to 3. That's all good. And going to pull this up to not too big, 40. That'll be good. And now we need to apply the materials. So I think I'll apply this black and this green, and click on the green material over here, come to selection and type in R1, and that's looking all right. I think I'm going to create a new material. Yeah, alright. Let's make a slightly lighter than black so that it's slightly more visible. Turn off the specular, I think. Actually, no. Leave specular on and pull it up a bit. And then come to reflection and make that for now. Leave that like that. And put that onto the text. And now you want to grab your black and put it at the very front. So you should have the order black, grey, green, or black, grey, whatever color you're using. And then we're going to come to the black, and in the selection type C1, and that will just put it onto the very front. And that selection is wrong. Alright, move the color to the middle. I think that's it. And 2 seconds. Actually, that looks pretty good. It's all about playing around with the materials. Just got to find one that looks good. So, okay, I think I'll delete that. And put the projection to cubic. Okay, that's looking fine now. Yep, that's all good. So now we want it to fly in, and to do that we're going to use the plane effector. So you want to come to simulation, or if you're in 11.5, it'll be a MoGraph down here, and if you're in 12 like I am, it will be under effector and plane. And as you can see, the text moves up. Don't worry, we'll solve that. But first you want to click on the plane effector, come to fall off, and in shape change that to box. And as you can see, it's dropped back down. I'm going to come out of camera view, and now we're going to have to line this box up as well. It doesn't really matter that much, just as long as it falls onto the text, just as long as it covers the text, and you'll know it is. Oh, that's a bit out of shape, out of line. Move that up. I'm getting confused now. It's really hard to see. Okay, right there and there, and then we're going to extend it out here. And then if you move it up to your text should move up. And if not all the letters are on the same moving, right, there we go. That's good, right. If not all the letters have moved up equally, you just got to drag it out and make sure it's covering the whole thing. So you want this box to be over your text, but when you put it over your text will move up. So if I, alright, yeah, right, let's leave it like that. Okay, back to camera, and now we've got this, which doesn't look as good. So, come to the plane effector, go to parameter, and in the Y position, you'll see that it's got this number, and that is the number that the text has been pulled up by. So we're just going to push that down to 0. And now we're going to come to the keyframe we want it to fly in. So this is finished there on 25, and then we want the text to fly in at, let's say 145 for now. Actually no, alright, put it about 10 keyframes after the logo has stopped moving. And then the Z axis, we're going to drag that all the way out of the screen like that, and we're going to put a keyframe there, and then going to come along to 70, let's try 70, and pull this out of the way, and as you can see, the text flies in as we do that. So we're going to pull that off the screen and keyframe it there. So now what we get is logo stops moving and the text flies in. That's a bit quick. I'm going to drag that out to 185 for now. So now we can mess with the rotation as well. So if we come to 185, oh no, if we come to 135, I'm going to come out of the camera so that I can see the text like that, and then tick rotation, and then you can rotate it however you want. I'm going to rotate mine like that and like that. Let's take that and play it. Okay, go back into camera, see what this looks like now. So this stops spinning and the text flies in, looking pretty good. Got a bit of rotation there, as you can see. Okay, I think it could do with a little bit more rotation maybe. So I'm going to come out of the camera again and just mess with this even more. See what that does. It's all about playing around, just doing. Okay, yeah, that looks. Actually, no, that's going to be too much. I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, that's all good. So we've got the text flying in, and that's pretty much it. I'm actually going to play around with the materials just a little bit, and I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, I'm back, and it's looking a lot nicer now. Basically, I'll run you through everything I've got going on here now. Right, I've got two lights, one there, on the right side, which is slightly closer to the text, and one on the left side, which is slightly further away, just to give a bit of variety. And I've also got the materials on the text. I've got the black at the front, which is C1 selection, and I've got a green, which is R2 for the back fillet cap. I've got another green, which is R1 for the front fillet cap, and then I've got a grey, which is at the very back of all these materials, which has no selection. And if you come here, that's just filling in between. So I think this looks pretty good now. I'm pretty pleased with how it's turned out. Hopefully you've got a good product here as well. Just going to run through it now, check everything. Okay, I think I might extend how long this goes on, maybe to there. How long it takes the text to fly in. Yeah, that's a lot better. And now we can cut off most of this, or a lot of this 500 frames that we put in at the start. So it finishes 205, and it's going to be faded out. So we're not using global illumination. It should render pretty quickly. So I think I'm going to go 240. So that is 35 frames after the last bit of animation. And now we need to go into render settings. So up here we want to click this general. We've got full render, output. I'm going to go to film video and HD 1080 29.97, and then what I do is I just change the width to 1280 and the height to 720, and that's actually that. Don't know why I need to do that, but yeah, that's what I do just to make sure everything's kind of HD. And then I go to save, and we want PNG, and I know PNG is just a flat image, but you'll see in part 5 why we're doing that. So doing it as PNG will render every frame individually, and then you want to tick the alpha channel and tick straight alpha. Now you need to find somewhere to save it. Whatever you do, don't just save it onto your desktop, because you're going to have 240 separate images on your desktop. So you want to make a new folder. I'm just going to call this Cruise Intro, and we're going to go in here and just call it Intro. Save. Right, that's all good. Multipass, nope. Anti-aliasing. We're not using global illumination. This is kind of like the quality of the shadows and stuff. So I'm actually going to whack this up to a 4x4, 8x8. Yeah, you don't really need to if you've got a slower computer. Well, mine's pretty slow to be honest with you, but it can easily handle this. So whatever you want really, the higher it is, the slightly longer it will take to render. And then we want best and still image, and that's just about it. So now you can get rendering. Click here and render to picture viewer, and it's going to start to render. And I've just made a mistake. Yeah, that was stupid. Just a minute. Alright, don't do that, that was wrong. Let's go in here. Alright, delete that. Yes. And the mistake I made was not ticking do all frames. So in output you want all frames. In output, in frame range, all frames 0 to 240. That was stupid of me. And now we can render. And that's good. So as you can see, it's rendering the frames pretty quickly. Shouldn't take more than 10 or 15 minutes. So that's pretty much it for part 4. In part 5 we'll do all the stuff in After Effects and possibly get onto the sound effects. I'll just give you a quick run through of how you put sound effects in. But I hope part 4 was helpful, this part, and I hope right now you're rendering a pretty nice looking intro. But this is Cruise Designs. Please comment, rate and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. But thank you for watching.